What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ty with the GoPro clip to my head, and this is the all-new 2025 Chevrolet Equinox. And we're going to be taking this car for a test drive. So who's ready to take the all-new Equinox for a test drive? Now, we can see lots and lots of styling differences. It almost looks kind of GMC-like in the rear end to me, but I think the new rear end, new front end looks great. This one has the Midnight Edition package, which blacks out the grille, gives us new 19-inch wheels. We've got blacked out badging all over the place. Even our bow ties are black. Mirror covers. And also our side rails are all blacked out. But I think this new Equinox really does look great, and definitely far better than the previous generation Equinox in terms of quality and technology. So very nicely updated car. We're working with a particular sticker price of $35,510, and this one is actually front wheel drive. We'll get into the kind of numbers of horsepower and things like that on our drive, but we'll do a little overview before we get this out on the road. We have the rear view camera mirror and backup camera cameras back here, powered liftgate, and plenty of room back here. Again, your seats will split 60-40. There's actually a little bit of kind of hidden cargo space underneath, which is nice. Rear seats are plenty roomy. I do have the rear seat back a little bit farther just for filming purposes, but even very far back like it is, I still have plenty of space behind myself. I'm 5'10". Two USB-C charging outlets back here, completely flat floor, so you could fit 3 people back here, and you also have air vents. Nice big giant panoramic roof too. And the doors sound pretty solid when you close them. Very nice looking all new interior. You could definitely tell it takes inspiration from the Blazer EV, Silverado EV inside with a nice double screen setup. But a nice amount of features in this LT. It's pretty loaded up car. Get a nice animation when you first step in. And this is our key. We've got the new Chevrolet key with remote start and trunk release on there, and we also have the push button start. Now, if you're interested to see a full features review on this particular car, I have filmed that in a completely separate video, so make sure you check my channel Ty Drives, or just wait till the end of the video, as I will be providing a link to that. So we'll kind of get an overview of every single feature on the outside, in the trunk, under the hood, in the rear seats, and all up here, all this technology, buttons, and all that good stuff. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. But let's put our seatbelt on, safety first, and take the Equinox for a drive. Alrighty, so first impressions on the Equinox. I have been driving it around a little bit. It's a little funky. Let me explain something to you here. So I am filming in Connecticut, which of course is the Northeast. Most of the cars we get up here that have optional all-wheel drive have the optional all-wheel drive. This particular one is front-wheel drive, and Chevrolet has decided to put a CVT, or continuously variable transmission, in the cars with front-wheel drive. So it's a little bit of a strange driving for me, since all the Equinoxes I've ever driven have a conventional transmission. Now, at the end of this curve here, right in front of this UPS guy, we're going to do an acceleration clip to see how the Equinox does. And we're going to turn down the AC a little bit, and we'll do that right now. We'll put our foot flat to the floor and see how it does. So definitely a little bit of struggling getting off the line, this being front wheel drive. It didn't feel very powerful off the line, but I think that's just due to the CVT transmission. Definitely lots of power once we get above that 3,000 RPM mark, and the CVT did have some simulated gear changes there. But basically, under the hood, we're working with a 1.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, 175 horsepower, 203 pound-feet of torque. So that is plenty of power for a car this size. right, so we have a little bit of hilly section here going through this neighborhood, and we'll see how this Equinox puts the power down here. Yeah, not too bad through those pretty steep hills. Keeps the RPMs nice and low. You know, again, the CVT transmission definitely needs to get a little bit more RPMs to you know, to get the turbocharger spooling. But you know, no complaints there. But one thing I will point out is this is a very, very smooth riding car. Now, even with these a little bit larger 19-inch wheels, this Equinox rides seriously smooth. It's just such a comfortable car to drive. Also, the steering wheel has got a pretty thick wheel to it, which means it's pretty comfortable to hold too. And you also have these little paddle shifters, which you can adjust, you know, the gear ratios in the CVT transmission vehicles, or actually adjust the gears in an all-wheel drive vehicle that has the conventional transmission. This road here will be a nice back road, so we'll kind of, we have some turns and twisties coming up, so we'll kind of get a feel for how it does around the turns. And our last segmentation of this video will be more of a high-paced, kind of two-lane highway, so we'll see what it does up at the higher speeds. But so far, you know, going through the features and all that stuff on this car, I am thoroughly impressed with this Equinox. It completely changed my view on the Equinox, this car. To be quite honest, the Equinox before this new 2025 model year was quite the boring vehicle. It really was kind of your epitome of a rental car. There was nothing, you know, cool about it. You know, the RS trim was pretty cool, and you can get some nice features in the Premier trim. But this, you know, just being the quote-unquote base model now, you know, there's no longer an LS trim, which is the base. The LT is the basic trim, which is the one we're driving here. This is a cool car. I mean, it drives nice. You know, other than I'd really like to get my hands on a car with a conventional transmission, you know, the 8-speed transmission. You know, I think the CVT transmission in this car is the only thing that kind of weighs it down a little bit, but it's really not a huge complaint, because you can get a conventional transmission if you go with the all-wheel drive. The key rattling around a little bit here, and we'll take a little shortcut to our kind of two-lane highway here. Brakes feel good, nice firm pedal. And I suppose if you put the transmission into the low mode right here, that'll kind of alleviate any kind of lag from the CVT transmission when you're going from a stop. Alright, yeah, so here we are up at 50 miles an hour finally, and it is quiet in here. It really, really is quiet. There's very minimal road noise. I'm getting the slightest hum of tires, but that is it. Chevy's done a great job with fine-tuning the suspension to make it more comfortable, and also just make it a nice, quiet, and relaxing driving experience. Pretty nasty manhole cover coming up here, and yeah, wow, Suspension is really, really refined in this 2025 model. And that pretty much does it for our test drive in the all-new Chevrolet Equinox 2025. I hope you have enjoyed this car just as much as I have. I have thoroughly enjoyed pretty much every part about this car. They have improved this car in just about every single way possible. And I hope you join us for our full features review so you can see kind of what all of this stuff is all about and all the mechanical bits under the hood, all the features on the outside, all that good stuff. So make sure you stick with us here at Ty Drives for more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching.